Good afternoon, members. I can see we have Victoria. Victoria, you're welcome. You can say something.
Thank you. How are you?
We are fine.
Good.
I'm called Mustafa, and I'm the team leader at Summit Consulting. And I will ask our team, Pius, introduce yourself, and then we can proceed.
Thank you very much, Barnabas. Pius Babiasiza are my names, presenting today's webinar on the digital agenda to transform your school. On the Summit side, we also have the technical team of Jest. Jest, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Just Boniface, part of the technical team. Thank you.
So by the time we end this call, I think the duration is 1 hour, right?
Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yes. So by the time we go to the end of this call, everyone on this call will learn what it means to have a winning digital agenda. Most of the time, we have seen COVID has fast-tracked the transition to online and e-learning and all these kind of technologies almost by 2 years. It has taken us very ahead of our time, and many people are finding a lot of challenges on how to cope and win. So you're going to learn what it takes to win with a digital agenda and how to transform your school into something which will make an impact immediately in terms of revenues. In addition, you're going to learn how to evaluate your current digital assets, your online presence, and how to transform it and make it even better so that you can win. And we shall show you the tools you would use and what an ideal digital strategy entails so that you can succeed. We want you to have a very transformed school in a way you deliver so that it is not only about winning with the current infrastructure at the school, but you win with the digital audience and empower your children wherever they are to find an experiment which is outstanding when you are learning online. Anything to add, Pius?
Yes, thank you so much, Barnabas, for that. And just as we start, I have received a special request from our attendees from Namagunga Primary Boarding School. I would request you give us some little time so that they can introduce themselves. I have 4 gentlemen. Now is the time to introduce yourselves. Namagunga, we are happy to have you. Please, can you say hi to the other participants?
Once again, I'm Francis from Namagonga.
Thank you, Francis.
When we are doing the digital agenda, the first step we use is what we call ACT. The second phase, which we shall see later, is called the change. And the last stage is called transform. So in the current state, when we say assess, we are actually doing what we call current state assessment, where you are taking stock of where you are now. What is the kind of digital investment have you done? Do you have a data center at the school? Who manages your website? How much budget have you dedicated for your digital investment in terms of how much money are you spending on your website? Who is managing your website? Do you have a dedicated team or you don't? Is the digital agenda a streamlined investment that has a budget item? So let us share a template for which we use to do the review of the website to assess whether it is value adding or not value adding. So you can display the screen of the template for our online website assessment so that we can empower the people to be able to even do it themselves, because for us, we want people to have skill to transform the way they run their schools, especially online. And then we shall give them more tools which are available for e-learning and how they can get the most with the very low cost solutions. As you can see this form, we begin with your online digital presence. So we check your website. Most of the time, many schools have sold their identity, whereby you find their website is a subdomain on somebody else's platform. So the first stage is we ask for your website or the school name, and we do what we call footprinting and reconnaissance to research about you online on any popular search engines, on popular search engines, mainly like Google, and see whether your name comes on top of the search results. So when you give us your school name, we search to see whether we can see your domain directly and which kind of information comes after your name. So in that way, we are looking at two things. If any person hears your school is a student maybe in the East African region and wants to come to study in Uganda, and they put the word school or primary school or secondary school or boarding school, will your school come among the top 5 or top 3? So that helps us to see your reputation and the search engine optimization of your name. So if your school comes among the top 5, it means that you have an international appeal and reach. When somebody searches a keyword school, then your school comes on top, because anybody looking for a school in East Africa or even in Africa would ideally go in Google, and the way you would go to a yellow page book to look for a company you are interested in, under the section of schools, with the digital or internet, you are going to search. You can use Bing search engine, or you can use Google search engine, or you can use Yahoo search, or any other popular engine which people know, which currently is. So now, if you have not optimized your search engine, your school will never even appear in the top 5. And as we talk this, I would like you to get the full name of, to search the word school in Google and see whether your school name comes. If your school name doesn't come, it means two things. It means that you have done a website, but you have not done what we call keyword optimization, whereby if the Google doesn't bring your school as number 1 or number 2 in Uganda, and your school doesn't come, it means that whoever did your website or your investment has not been optimized, because people cannot easily find you. It is like having a home, but there is no plot number or direction. So it is so difficult for anybody your home, because people will come and get lost. So that's what we do with when we get a name of your school, we search it. What we're interested in is to find the unique identifier online, which is your domain name. But most of the time you'll find the school doesn't have what we call HTTPS. I don't know whether everybody on this call can see the word HTTPS. HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. S means secure. So with this kind of digital age and the increasing cyber attacks, any school which collects data from the public or the visitors, if you are collecting data like name or email or phone number, it means that I need to make sure that that page is secure, whereby I am able to be confident that my information will not be stolen, or the school is not just any other school. That is the genuine domain of the school. So that's what we call a secure socket layer certificate, which is enabled. So if I find your school domain doesn't have that S, already it begins showing weakness, I will not be very comfortable. If I'm based in Rwanda or even in Mbarara and I want to come to your school, you're asking me to complete information online, but the form is not secured. It is not good. So that is one of the things also we are going to check. These are the basic things for your online reputation, because sometimes you can be having a website and you're wondering, why is it that people are not registering on this? Why are they not sending me messages? Why are we not getting leads through the website? Because the website is a conversion tool. It should be able to bring traffic and also bring business, other than people traditionally waiting for people to come to the school, and then they are asking the school fees, how much, the requirements for the school. The website should provide all this kind of information in a way that is very convenient and very useful. But if your site doesn't have basic security, and the people currently are very aware and alert, you'll find that you are leaving a lot of money on the table, and your website is like a brochure which does not give any revenue. But what I want to take away from now here is your domain, is your school having search engine optimization, so that your school comes on top when your name of the school is searched. Otherwise, you will have a website and nobody really visits it if you check on traffic. when we are doing so when we come to your website, we were going to we assess it in the area of asking what is the general layout. Many times you'll find that the school doesn't have an official homepage. For some of the schools where people sent us and said review our school, it's okay. We found that you have a domain which is very good, but sometimes you find the domain is too long. So when you use it in an email, it is not good. You find the domain have an hyphen or that a minus sign, and a domain with a hyphen is not good because according to the programming language used on the internet, which we call, if you read a book called the How Google Search Works, Google Search works with the mathematical permutations. When you say, for example, Viva Academy, the Google search, if you type the words Viva Academy, it will put Viva plus Academy. So it is effectively searching for anywhere on the internet where there is the word Viva and followed by the word Academy. So of course on the internet there could be so many places where there is the word Viva, but maybe these are not followed by Academy. But now when you put your domain as Viva minus or hyphen Academy, it will look, the engine is actually you are asking the engine to look for any page online which has the word Viva but does not have the word Academy. That's what the old search engine programming language means. So we see people have written a wrong domain. That is the lack of maybe information and understanding of the digital strategy at the beginning. So we recommend that you check your domain and make sure that it is not so long to be forgotten, but also you don't put hyphens which are a minus, because that means that it would become very, very difficult for your search to come on top of the site. But when we are looking at the homepage, we are asking things like, do you have your direct homepage? It is like, if I am called Barnabas and I still live with my dad who is called maybe Slyman. So people will first come and will look for the home of my father. They will never go to my home because I am not existing. So if I find somebody is a subdomain on another person's domain, and that is not good, where you find viva.schools.co.ug. So this means that what is known is schools.co.ug, but nobody will ever know Viva, or nobody will ever know Hillside, or nobody will ever know Namagunga, because you are like hidden in the boys' quarter there, and it doesn't make a school good. So when we are reviewing, we check, is your domain good? The homepage, is it clear? Then we look at the sub pages on that domain. When you go to so many schools' websites, we have schools we have reviewed. We shall give you a report after this call if you share your email and also you shared it so that we can take you through. You find that there is no what we call ad copy. It was written by an administrator but not a business person, and it didn't have a purpose. So you find that the website has been written as a brochure, not or as a report, but not as what we call a marketing copy. You want to find information which converts other than information which is just plain. So you will find on the sub pages, they are not carefully crafted. When I go to a school, what am I looking for? One, I am a parent and I'm looking for a place for my child. Two, I'm a parent, I already have a child there, so I'm looking at the status of my child in the school. Third, I'm a student of the school. I'm looking at getting my status update on whether the school is open, when will it open, and what is happening, and how has been my performance. But also, I am a former student. I'm looking for my alumni. I want to get in touch with my alumni so that we can share lessons and best practices. So you'll find that on the home page, there is just too much information, but no value to the reader or to the person who has come. So in that case, the website is shouting, but doesn't help me, because you want to see, if you are a parent, click here. If you are an alumni, click here. If you are a continuing student, click here. If you want to enroll, click here. If you want to know about our mentorship program, click here. So that the next action is so clear and the noise on the home page is completely lost. But also things like if you are a student, click here for holiday program or for e-learning or for virtual school. They should be prominent. I like to say whereby you darken everything else. We don't have footer. The footer should be there on all pages, providing consistent, easy to access information to the home page. So you want to know that how do I quickly go back to the home page to look for the information I have gone to a sub page. When we reviewed many of the schools, home page doesn't exist. There is template information in the home page. Now, this is so much very bad. It is like serving the leftovers, bringing food with the leftovers of yesterday, and the plate has not been washed, whereby you find that the footer has template information. Many schools are using what we call open source website development tools like Joomla, like WordPress, like Drapo. These kind of templates are very good, but it requires somebody to be so careful and customize the content to meet the school requirements. But you find that when we reviewed that, the footer has things like the old folks jumped the wall, meaning that it is template information and you have not taken time. So when I find information like this, obviously I can't bring my child to that kind of school because it shows that there is like a lackadaisical way of doing things. It is danger, run away immediately. Then of course the navigation is not very good. When you put a school on the mobile phone, everything disappears. And yet today in Uganda, we have got a mobile phone penetration rate of over 55%. This means that out of the 45 million people, 42 million people, 55% have some form of a mobile phone, of which 10 million have a smartphone. So meaning that 10 million can watch, look, review your website, access your website on their mobile phone, not on a computer or a laptop. So now when your website is still not mobile ready, it becomes very difficult to navigate it, and somebody will be turned off quickly and they will go to another school, which makes the experience better. And make no mistake about it, the school which has a good and convenient online environment will be attracting more students even going forward. Because now if your students are just going to other people's websites to look for materials to study, and for you have not taken effort to provide these materials, it becomes very difficult. For many schools, they did not have the strategy for e-learning. Usually, when you are going to win with the digital agenda, you open up the first 2 or 3 lessons, and then when somebody has actually bought in, then they can now click to get to access all the resources. But now, when you go to many schools' website, they say, put a student ID to access. So I cannot go to a hotel and want to buy food, but I can't even see the menu. So it is very important to give people endosa or jaribu in the, I don't know whether many of you, if you have traveled. One time I had traveled to China, and there was a guy selling a rug. So he and with a very good sitting room. So he says, you come and feel the experience. Come and sit, put your legs on the rug and you feel how it is soft. So this kind of experience, you feel like really you enjoy the experience and you don't want to leave it. And I think that is very important. Then, of course, the content on the website is very bad. It appears that the school top people, the executive committee, does not take time to own the content on the website. Remember, this is the information you are giving to the public. You are finding mistakes, spelling mistakes, typos in the messages which are posted online, and that is not forgivable. So the online digital agenda is not a mandate of IT. IT worker is just to do the technical issue. But the people into communications, the head teacher or the rector of the school must own and drive the content. The director academics, this is their business, because this is the second name of a marketing person. You have what you are delivering online. Pius, you can add something, but I thought people need to understand just on that section which we review. When you check many of the websites we have seen, the best website gets 10% out of 100. Now you can see how poor and bad the school websites are currently. That's why you need a business mind to develop the website, not an education mind for the website, because the education mind is going to put content which may not make sense most of the time to the reader who wants to be converted. First, I have to put myself in the shoes of a parent. I am a parent. I have visited the website of Hillside or Green Hill or Namagunga Primary School. What am I looking for? Pius.
Yes, thank you very much, Barnabas. You'll definitely be looking for solutions. Either you are looking for a place for your school and you want to be able to be directed to the right place where you should go. You are looking for a website that is interactive. Either you are looking for content, you want to assess whether this is the right school where you should be able to take your child or not. Or depending on who is visiting, you could actually be an alumni. You could be an old girl or an old boy of the school. You could be a previous, a teacher who was there and taught in that school. You could be a well-wisher who probably wants to, support education and support the school. You could be a friend of a parent who has, a child, a pupil in the school. But if you are visiting around this time, the biggest solution you are most likely to be looking for will be e-learning. Has the school gotten the capabilities that will be able to support my pupil during this period? Is it easy to navigate? Is it easy to enroll? Is it easy to access the content? Is the website responsive enough? So you will definitely be looking for a number of solutions, and different people who log onto the website will definitely be looking for a number of solutions. And going by the mantra we preach here at Summit Consulting is schools should not get ready. They should instead stay ready. So e-learning is something that is going to be here. It has gotten very many schools not ready for it, but schools have now to transform and move several years ahead into digital transformation if they are going to be able to deliver. Because soon we will be talking that gone are the days where the learner and the teacher all had to be in the same room at the same time. We will be talking of anytime learning, anywhere. We will be talking of that ability of having a school that is able to interact with its audience, that is able to deliver solutions to teachers, to deliver solutions to pupils, to deliver solutions to stakeholders, but at the convenience of these different people, these different stakeholders. It's got to be at the convenience of the pupil and the learner, both in terms of location and in terms of time. It's got to be at the convenience of the school also, because the school needs to capture as many stakeholders as it can, but the school has to speak to them in the language that they best understand. And therefore, a website or online presence is one of those ways how the school can position itself to speak the language, to be able to serve all categories of its stakeholders. So the school has to come up with a proper strategy, think of what solutions its different stakeholders are going to require today and into the future, and then move very fast to prepare itself to capitalize and be ahead in terms of provision of solutions that are required by the general public. Thank you.
Okay, Pius, thank you very much for that insight.
Yes.
And members who are listening on this call, I want you to look at number 2 on the projection. I hope everybody can see it. Since we cannot interactively see each other, nevertheless, I wouldn't mind if we can somehow show some of our faces so that we know. In case you have any question you want to raise, you can always raise your hand and we can always see you. But I hope you can see me. I'm going to disable my phone, my camera. Now, the most important thing is e-learning. When we are visiting and we are checking your e-learning, we are asking the e-learning to a school. Traditionally, your learning environment has been classrooms, where a teacher walks into the class and finds the students are seated and introduces the topic for the day. And that was informing the school program and the lesson plan. Now, when it comes to the virtual world, there has been a disruption. And this disruption is, instead of having that physical class, which I want you to imagine, I know many of you have been at classes and you are teachers. Now, the environment is what we are currently doing. It is virtual. So the question is, have you ever seen a school where the class is owned by another company, or the school builds the schools and asks students to come and attend the class in their own home? We are seeing many schools are making what we call a strategic mistake in their digital agenda, whereby they are putting their lessons and everything on platforms like Google Classroom. Well aware that that platform is not yours. You are channeling all the traffic to Google and any other platform for that matter. So this is why, if you cannot say, I'm going to get students, and then when I get these students, then I will take them to another building in the town, and that is my classroom, because it makes you a fake school anyway, of getting your students and getting classes and sending them links for Google and saying that, okay, you people, you use Google platform and register there. I'm not saying that it's bad to leverage on existing technologies. It is good, but you don't export your heart. That is the core of the business. You cannot outsource core of the business. The point I'm making in many words is you have to own your digital e-learning platform. It is a critical resource which must be an asset of the school. I know many times boards make these kind of decisions, but you also have to ask yourself, in your boardroom, who is the digital champion on the board? Usually board members work with what we call committees of the board. These committees are technical. The same way you are going to have a board for schools, it is very complicated because you have the Education Act specifying people who can be on the board for purposes of representation and everything. We don't have any problem with that. But we have a problem when the board does not see the need to have the need for experts who are subject matter experts to be what we call technical advisors of the board, who may be independent even of they may not be part of the board members, but they are technical advisors. They sit on a committee of the board to consider technical issues which are relating to technology. And this is why you'll find that a decision to do with e-learning can be put on the peripheral of the board agenda, and a decision to build a school is part of the board agenda. So the question is, why would you invest 100 million in putting up a school structure and you don't invest 100 million or more in putting up a very strong, very good e-learning system? Because whether or no COVID, you have to begin looking ahead of your time for the kind of student and class you are looking at. When students even go for holiday, they should remain active to your school, and that increases your turnover and your new additions. So point number one, stop having your critical learning on other people's platforms. It should be your own intellectual property platform. Unless in that platform, you have significant control in terms of ownership of the intellectual property, you are able to monetize and earn some money through that. So when you're having a good e-learning system, you can then have a flexibility of even students who are not part of your school to come to your e-learning platform and access like 2, 3, 4, 5 courses at each any class for free. So you'll find that for many schools, this is not available. And we find this is a big weakness because you are only basically looking at your current students, but you are not marketing, using the e-learning as a marketing tool to see the experience you have and people come. And then of course, the question of course, can we go to the next page? But I would like to, since our time has been passed, I'm going to ask the audience to ask questions. And for those ones who requested for a free school review, we shall give you some report. But if you want our real-time engagement and also a Zoom call to your board and your other EXCO members, because trying to transform and do things which are right, like a digital agenda, requires teamwork and requires buy from your colleagues. So we are willing to give them a call, 10 minutes, but it is a mind awareness call, and just mainly focused on your digital investment so that they can see what you have done and whether it makes sense or not make sense. Thank you very much. I think we should open up for questions. And if the survey questions are ready, especially question number 3, 4, I would be happy to see they are displayed and we move on. Thank you. Pius, back to you and to the audience to ask questions. You can raise up your hand and ask a question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The audience, please get to raise your hand and you ask questions. So in the chat window, if you just check in the chat window, you will see there is a link to the survey. It's on https www.mustafamugisa.com, schools agenda. Mustafa Mugisa is my co-presenter for today's webinar. Please click that link so that you can go and answer the questions on that platform, and then the results will be displayed here. I'm sure you to see the link. Meanwhile, participants, if you have a question, please raise your hand and we will take your question.
I have a question. My name is Victoria.
Yes, Victoria.
I really want to appreciate you for this. I can't believe you've done it for free. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, because you've opened our eyes. Most of us who never had or who have had to learn on personal level, the IT related issues are really so green. So actually, one of the reasons why I really opted to get into here is that the whole system, COVID-19 has thrown all of us, school admins and all key stakeholders in schools, into the deep end of the swimming pool. So we've got to learn everything yesterday. Now, as you were doing the assessment and sharing with us the preliminary findings of what you saw, prima facie evidence, I was getting shocked. And I said, I would like to really to thank you. I do thank you and commend you for that. And I think for me, when it comes to assessment, I'll have to bring in all the key stakeholders. You really raised another issue where you said that, you know what, this is a business thing. You don't get, the IT person at school to website and so on. We did not know what the trimmings ought to be, Somebody's sub-hosting you, or, there are so many criminal practices that we've been practicing. But thank you very much. For me, I know I'll have to engage you with the rest of the team other than me, so that what you share with us about our website goes far and wide, and afterwards we can swing into action. Thank you. Over now to you.
Thank you very much. Just before you go, could you let us know the name of the school you are representing?
Viva College School.
Oh, wonderful. Viva College School. Thank you very much.
Actually, during the assessment of the website, I visited when you submitted your name, I checked Viva College School, and I saw you have done very good stuff there, but online, the investment you have put on site is like so fantastic, 100%. When you come online, it is like -3%. It is so bad. And yet many of the prospects and parents will make a decision before to come on their mobile phone and computer. By the time they come to visit the school, they should have already been bought in by what they see online. So that underscores it. Thank you very much for your kind words, and we are always happy. One of the things, we used to do this thing, a lot of things in South Africa, in Asia, but we said, why don't we go back to our country and try to transform, even if you do one school at a time, it makes a lot of difference. Thank you very much for your kind words. Okay, so can you display the results, Pius?
Okay, as we get to display. Oh, there's another question?
Yes, this is Mr. Ward.
Oh, finally, we can hear you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the presenter,
Summit Consulting,
together
yeah.
with Mr. Pies, for the presentation. We are really happy that today we are being able to be here, the team from Namagunga. We have really liked the presentation. However, we have some challenges that we would like to share with you as regards our website. And this has been a challenge for a very long time. Our website was designed by somebody, I think one of the parents who's based in Makerere. The challenge is one that whenever we want to send the content or any package to the website, we first have to contact him so that we forward to him this content to be loaded into the website, upload it to the website. How best can we own it? And each time we want to upload a given package to the website, we are able to do it within ourselves at school without getting into this trouble of looking for somebody who has designed this, who probably has to be paid, has to own this website. That's the challenge most of schools are having. So we need your guidance on that. And then you also talked about how to make or come up with a good Google Classroom. We needed your guideline more on that. How do we come up with it so that we are able to help our learners outside there? Because we don't know when COVID is going to end. How do we also develop a good e-learning platform for our learners? How soon can you come in to help us, and what is it that is required in terms of the monetary part of it, or the operation, the terms and conditions? We may need to know more about this, much as we are ready to take up the program. Otherwise, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I had two questions in one. The question was outsourced service provider. They are a captive of the login details of the website. It is very difficult to update. And then the second question about e-learning. So let me begin with the first question. When you register a website, there is what we call a host company which hosts your website, where you buy the domain name. It is like going to the Ministry of Lands and you are doing a search for a land title, for a land which you want to buy. And after you find the land exists, then you buy and then get a title into your names. That is called the registration of the land into your names. So in a website, we register the website to the ICANN internationally, and a given company, which is called the host, will register it for you and also host your files. So when they register it for you and host your files, they will see panel access or core panel access. This means that the owner is the one who owns the domain name, and can upload the files or not for the website. However, when a website has been set up, depending on the platform which was used, that website, you have what we call administrator access, what people can see. So all that content should be in the hands of the school, even if the person who outsourced it for you has some copy of the same kind of login, but the school should be the one which owns it, and therefore should keep custody of that. And if the person does not give them to you, then you are being taken for a ride. It is not acceptable. You must immediately write to them and ask for those details from them. And if they refuse, you begin processes for legal to sue them, because it is your intellectual property, depending on the agreement which you had beforehand. So I would say you don't need to beg anybody doing anything. They don't have any to keep control of that resource. It is your property, unless if they paid their own money, registered the domain, and they lied to you, and they are enemies of the school, in which case you should drop all those things, register your new domain name, and begin your digital agenda from a fresh start. That said, e-learning, many schools, of course, many organizations, like where we are using Zoom, but the difference between Zoom is it is an enabler. Now, the difference between a Gmail or Google Classrooms is that you are putting intellectual property, you are investing a lot of money in the hands of Google, and it remains there. So you find that at any time, if you lost that password, you will never ever access that detail. And yet that is your biggest resource. Why we have an e-learning platform, it is to drive traffic to our students. It is like free advertisement. This is why we are, am I breaking up again? So this is why we encourage you to develop your own e-learning. There are open source applications for e-learning like Moodle, like we can always give you a list of them. But Moodle or any other e-learning platform will be hosted on your own domain. And that means that any student who comes will be coming to your home, to your domain, which make a lot of sense. So I would encourage you to think it from that digital investment. I don't know whether I have answered the questions, but perhaps you can add on what I may have missed. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Barnabas. You've really answered it very well. And the one for the domain about the person who is holding the school at ransom, I think we can follow up with that later after this webinar. And for the e-learning platform, you've clearly put it. It's better, rather than have a public thing, you need one that is customized and you own it and it suits your needs and it's your digital asset. There is no way Google Class will become a digital asset of a school.
Thank you very much. I see my time has gone and I have to go into another meeting. Thank you. Bye-bye. If you want contact of this presentation and support, I request that you share your email and your contact so that we can engage back with you. Thank you, everybody. God bless.
Okay. Mr. Dong, you had a question?
Was to follow up. How do we engage other stakeholders who are the pillar of this project that we are about to begin? The school management committee, and then there's teaching staff. How do we engage them so that we can move together at the same pace? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dong. To respond to your question, it's a conversion process. And you having attended this webinar today, that is the beginning of the conversion. Because after here, you are going to take back the message. And when you take back the message to the school administration, it now gets to catapult and move from there until when it gets to the level. And like we've already mentioned, we are available to do a presentation to share more insights beyond what we have shared here in today's webinar. Our time is really fast spent. Other questions at this point, but our contacts are available. Please, in the chat window, leave your email address so that we are able to follow up with you. You can visit our website and contact us and get to seek more information, and then we can get to engage more. So we have other programs that are coming up right now. We beg to get to end this webinar, but we are always open to get in touch with you if you express need to get in touch with us. So thank you so much, our technical team. Thank you so much, all our attendees from wherever you have attended from. It's a pleasure, and it's been a pleasure to have you today for this webinar. We will keep in touch with you and let you know when we have other arranged like this one, and we will be waiting to hear from you in case you feel there is more value that we can offer. Thank you very much, and I think the host is ready to end this meeting. You can please end the meeting. Thank you so much.